I am a guy from a place, Charm City, Bip, Marquise the Vandal, Marquise the name my mama gave me. I'm here this morning, space of reflection, space of gratitude, just in the space of thanks. Also acknowledging that it ain't that deep. Like coming from the yogi, the yoga instructor, the always spiritually attuned, talking about these different things, it ain't that deep. But it is at the same time. It's like finding this balance, finding the nuance in the experience. I put my Instagram on pause for a second just to see how I do without it for a little bit. Unfortunately, like Instagram doesn't pay, and it's a marketing space. But what becomes a problem is when you have too few things to market. Too few sounds fun, but like you don't have enough things to market. So if you're not marketing on Instagram actively, and you're not getting paid for marketing, just this limbo. It's weird limbo. Also had to like assess what my brand is standing for. I love my upbringing. I love the city I'm from. I also acknowledge like the shortcomings of both of those things and the gaps that had to be filled and the other spaces that filled those gaps in the process. So I'm just in this middle ground. That's why it's called a guy from a place, because even in acknowledging the place I'm from, I can respectfully say like the place that I'm from isn't the only reason that I stand as tall as I do. It's like a lot of other cultures that helped in this process. So thinking about that a lot this morning as I reflect and start to be more honest about the things that I wish to bring into my life. I'm at a transitional point, and I'm blessed to be able to do a lot of things in this transition. Like a lot of things are, a lot of opportunities have presented themselves. What is interesting though is that like every opportunity isn't something that I'm meant to jump at. Every opportunity isn't something that's actually what I'm setting out to do. So it is very fun to watch. Very fun to watch. Especially because before I was presented with the opportunities, like in theory, I wanted a lot of things. In theory, I wanted to be married by now. In theory, I wanted to have like my own place and my own like all these strict structures in place. And I wanted a space. I wanted like an office space. I wanted like all these things I wanted, and it's like I can have them, but then I get to do this thing of like, but why? Like everything is coming back to why. And I'm writing more, so I'm grateful for that. Like I said, it's really interesting to see the process. And that point where it's like, oh, you want to have this type of relationship with a woman, you can have that type of relationship with the woman that you want. But how are you going to show up? Are you going to show up in a way that honors her and yourself? Or are you going to be selfish and then reap some karma later on? Are you going to be selfish and then have to deal with the impact of your selfishness later? As your selfishness is now like harming other people's trajectory. Yeah, it's very introspective. Learning a lot from my elders just through holding space, sharing space with them. Learning a lot about myself. Having opportunities to teach workshops to youth. I get to teach music production to kids. Like, that's crazy to me. I'm teaching a music production class where we're writing songs about like peer pressure, greed. We're writing songs about overcoming, finding yourself. These are like middle schoolers writing these powerful songs right now, and it's just uplifting me. It's uplifting me, reminding me how all right the kids are. The workshop I did the other day, like the kids were talking about how they choose Kendrick over Drake. It was like one of these really funny moments because I didn't know what to expect. It's to the point where the kids are actually like embarrassed to say they like Drake. Like and not to say that that's what I wish for entirely, because I think for a lot of them, they don't know Drake outside of the singles. They don't know Drake pre Meek Mill beef. Like they just started to, like if they're 13 now, they don't have a full like conscious understanding of who Drake is in his entirety, like as a career. I think that's what's funny to see. Like for these kids, they don't really know who Kendrick was the whole time. They might have just met Kendrick at the 2015 turning point. And even that is like 6 years ago. No, 2015 is 9 years ago. My math is horrible. 2015 is 9 years ago. So if they're 13, let's say they just started listening to music at 10. Oh my goodness. 2021 and up is their understanding of music? That's wild. So Juice WRLD may not even be a thought, because 2021, he's gone. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's wild to think about. They probably, they don't even have a reason to listen to Mac Miller. Oh my goodness. This is absurd. I'm old. A 13-year-old has no reason to listen to Mac Miller. If they don't have like a elder, they don't have a OG. I'm an OG now. That's wild. And this is the part that I'm talking about in terms of transition. I'm recognizing these pivot points where it's like, damn, like my vote matters now. I'm like it always mattered, but like it really means something to me. Like I'm paying taxes. Like I got a say in what the next 4 years look like. I want to have a strong say in what the next 4 years look like. At 20, I'll be 32, and like I hope to own property. God will. But like I said, I'm just really reflective as of late, and I'm thinking about how I intend to show up moving forward. And stillness is giving me also a consciousness of the things that I've been running away from. I talk about grieving a lot on my podcast. I talk about the losses we take in life, and I have not fully acknowledged the losses I've taken. And some of those losses left me bitter. Some of those losses left me numb, not wanting to feel what I went through. Wanting to just ignore it, forget it. And I've been crying lately because I needed to, like crying and cleansing and just recognizing like I don't even firmly say what I want at times. And I'm in all of these different spaces, sometimes out of obligation, sometimes because I gave my word and I want to honor it, but I actually don't have the capacity to do so. It's all these different things. So, like I said, it's an interesting season. It's blessed. Shout out to the West Baltimore Rich Collaborative. Collaborative is a funny word when it's mixed with other words. But shout out to the West Baltimore Rich Collaborative. The Rich stands for reducing inequalities or reducing iniquities in cardiovascular health. Reducing iniquities in cardiovascular health. Rich Collaborative. They are really helpful. They gave me tea. Oh my goodness, they gave me tea. But they taught me about blood pressure and the importance of blood pressure. We're out here and we get stressed and we don't always think about our health in that regard. Our blood pressure, right? How is the blood flowing? Heart disease is like one of those ones. Heart attacks. We don't always look at a shortness of breath as an issue with our blood pressure, but it's something to check in on. And just something to think about. If you have elders around you, maybe get a blood pressure monitor. They're really cheap, and they have battery-powered blood pressure monitors. I checked my blood pressure and my grandmother's blood pressure recently, and it was really dope. Mine was 107/72, good blood pressure, right? Hers was like in a decent range as well. So it's like just those little things to think about in our experience. Don't wait until you feel horrible to think about your health. Horrible. You know, put that health as a priority in your experience, and it will do you well. Hey, I'm just thinking about that this morning, man. The youth are in a good space. I've realized we are the problem. It's not the kids. It's actually not the kids. Because the kids are going to learn through what they see. I learned through what I saw. People that wanted me to do better could tell me till they're blue in the face what I was supposed to do. But ultimately, I leaned on the things I saw. I saw my mother get up and go to work every day. So that's what I just had this urge to get up. And now that like I'm past 25, I'm like, whoa, like I like to wake up before 6. I like to wake up early and get a jump start on my day. I like an entrepreneurial type life. I like to work for myself, and my mother worked for herself. I saw my father traveling a lot. I love to travel. So it's interesting how much we ultimately come back to these things we saw taking place. If like I saw my mother in isolation at points, I do the same thing. I go hermit mode, and rather than like trying to deny those things about her or look at them as problems, problematize those things about her, I find ways to make them solution based and help allow them to benefit my experience. Because like I said, ultimately I do things that my parents did without even realizing it. I laugh at the way I didn't recognize my mother was a teacher. My mother did hair in a salon, in her salon, all throughout my childhood, and I would watch her teach women about their hair and just talk to them a certain way, and the way she greeted people, and all these little things. And as I step into that space, I do the same thing. So it is very just it behooves you to learn your family history if you have any family history to learn, and just find ways to learn yourself through that studying yourself. That's all I say, you know. But it's a good day. I'm repping the Roots Picnic, and I got to go back in, is that 2 years ago? Has it been 2 years already? Wow. This is 22? Yes, 2 years ago. And they got another one this year, and it's like a crazy lineup. I think Andre 3000 is the special guest. They got Jill Scott. They got Lil Wayne on the bill. They got just names on the bill. The Roots Picnic about to be lit. Shout out to it. June 1st to the 2nd. Yeah, I'm all over the place, but I'm right here. Quick poem off the top of the dome. Poem off the dome. You judge without knowing. You judge with fear judgment. You judge and critique things your heart is in love with. What has it brought you? What has it left you? Wanting to be favored when you have not accepted you. You don't respect you. You go back on your word. If you're honest, you think stress is what you deserve. You can do so much. You can be much more. Check the ego. It won't serve you moving forward. Check the pride. That's for others to have for you. If you're real, you'll rise. And there's nothing man can do. You'll do the work. You'll prove your worth. You will free yourself. Release judgment to free others in need of help. As I always say, I am a guy from a place, Charm City Bipper, Keith the Vandal. Marquise is the name my mama gave me. One day made better, as many days made greater. I'm uplifting you to be in a world that cares. If I keep it to myself, I think that's unfair. The joys we're given are best when shared. Visionaries never die. Legends survive. Through the seeds we sow daily, we get better with time. We're built in private, blessed in public. Whether they like it or love it, the process is trusted. You are abundant. Be blessed, my friend. Peace.